Do we have any questions? Obey my commands. Good luck, touch those guys, let's come out and go to work.
Well, we've had crackling Mexican matchups in the lighter divisions over the years. Carlos Zarate and Alfonso Zamora, Ruben Olivares and Chuco Castillo. And of course, that trilogy with Marco Antonio Barrera and Eric Morales. The first was here at Mandalay Bay, the thriller. Will we get another with Juan Manuel Marquez? They share 77 knockouts between them, a wealth of world experience. The noise is deafening as they finally meet. They've been promising toe-to-toe action, but with one a former lawyer and one an accountant, could ring intelligence be the answer, Jim?
Well, I'm wondering, two technical boxers, it will become a battle of the jabs. If that's the case, well, the fact that Barrera is left-handed, throwing a left jab, will that give him a bit of an edge? He does have an excellent jab and hook.
Once upon a time, as an early teenager, he was a southpaw, Barrera. Turned to orthodox, and that left jab is a potent weapon. He schooled Rocky Juarez with it in their second meeting, embarrassing him. But Marquez is a very, very good fighter.
Well, Barrera really looks fired up at the start of this one, and of the two, Marquez has unraveled just slightly. He's the one who looks that little bit ragged. He's been taking the shots. Get pinned again. He looks so in control of what he's doing, Barrera.
Marquez had that terribly slow start against Manny Pacquiao. Floored 3 times in a horrible first round, but he came back, clawed his way into it, and outboxed Pacquiao. Pacquiao, who beat and stopped Barrera. That's good form from Marquez. But it's a different assignment against Barrera.
I didn't think the fact that Marquez was stepping up a weight would be of any significance, because Barrera's not huge at the weight, and at one time not so long ago he said he wouldn't box above 9'2", but he looks so strong and domineering at the moment, just as though he intends imposing himself on Marquez. 2 lovely shots.
On the weight night, the weights tonight, Marquez is actually a pound heavier at 9'13" to Barrera's 9'12", but Barrera has been campaigning at Super Featherweight a while.
Well, forget the chess match already, Adam. This is not going to be any chess match. They're right down to business.
There's an electric feel in the atmosphere here in Mandalay Bay. Barrera with a fast left hand, imposing himself early. Right hand from Marquez, back comes Barrera. This has started as well as we'd hoped. Stony-faced Barrera, so different out of the ring, but it is business, and it was an efficient start.
Yep, hardly made a mistake. He had Marquez reaching with the shots. That was a glancing right hand that he did land, but I like Barrera in the opener.
5th defense of his WBC Super Featherweight title. Marco Antonio Barrera in fight 69 against the former WBA and IBF featherweight champion Juan Manuel Marquez, who has the WBO belt at 9 stone, but up in weight for the first time. Only ever lost 3 times before Marquez.
Barrera looks as though he doesn't want to move away from punches. He wants to block them, so he's always in position to counter.
Combination from Barrera. He's been a pro since 15 years of age. in 1989, and he's still performing like this.
And I think he's sending out vibes to Marquez that he's prepared to stand and do it the old-fashioned Mexican way if he fancies.
Maybe he will mix the styles up, the craftsman that he's become in the latter part of his career against Robbie Peden and against Juarez.
Nice little burst from Marquez there. I think he's tumbled at his suicide to throw single shots at Barrera. He's trying to put them together and find a way in for the right hand.
I'm sure Barrera will want to engage though. Spirit and pride between these Mexicans, and he loves his fans too. Left hook. This from Barrera is really good. What a positive start from the formidable champion.
Yeah, well, Marquez had a little bit of success himself, but Barrera took the pleasure of it away from him with that double left hook.
Many critics over here going with Marquez as the fresher man. One of the finest counter punchers in the business. And does take time to get into fights. But Barrera, like he did with Juarez in a different way, proving points early.
He's looking the more robust at times in these exchanges. I mean, now and again I've seen a startled look in Marquez's face. He seems prepared to stand Barrera on the last word. This is a close round, this is a difficult one to score.
Marquez comes on with the right hand. 35 knockouts in his 46 wins. Barrera trying to have the last word at the end of the round. High class stuff.
¿Cómo te sientes? Bien. Qué bueno. Está bien.
Nacho Beristain, who got Juan Manuel's brother Rafael to that terrific victory against Israel Vazquez. Can he do it again? Two brothers never held the WBC titles together at the same time.
Well, they both had good spells in that round, but I just feel Barrera's timing his punches better than Marquez at the moment, so more snap in them.
The silver of Barrera with Tapia on the back as always. His mother's maiden name, Maria Tapia. The nurse, his dad, designed sets for TV studios. Good upbringing in Mexico City, also from the same area, Juan Manuel Marquez. They're bright guys outside of the ring. But will they just go at each other tonight?
Good right hand from Marquez. Barrera took it well and come blazing back.
Ring smarts. Brains ticking over. And they have trained so very hard. Barrera up in the Big Bear Mountains, everything to plan. Juan Manuel Marquez in the Mexican mountains, all fine.
Marquez trying to take the initiative a bit more now. I think he realises he has to do that. I mean, Barrera had that composed, solid look about him. Good work here from Marquez.
Just out of range there with the jab. Barrera. Volume from Marquez trying to attack the Barrera body, which didn't look as ripped on the scales last night.
I think Marquez has realised single shots are the last thing he wants to be using here. He's putting them together well. 2s and 3s, there he goes with the right hand, doubling up.
Even though they're both 33 with Marquez a few months older than Barrera, it could be the changing of the guard, the torch passed, a new Mexican star born here in Marquez. If he can outclass Barrera, which is so hard.
Another good right hand from him. He's looking much more settled now. In the third round here, beginning really to look settled.
Your left hand up. Defense good of Marquez. Trying to push Barrera back, negate that jab of Barrera's. Barrera wild and Marquez more accurate, but they're opening up just as they promised us they would do.
So no question, Marquez came out on top in that exchange. Excellent round for Marquez.
Fabulous punches. Terrific fight so far.
Con el gancho izquierdo. Necesito que se no abajo, a gancho al hígado.
Marquez, good round.
Yep, accurate punches from both hands there. Couple of good exchanges where he come up on top. Good finish to that one, but there he goes. Excellent fight. As good as we hoped it would be.
Barrera, the former outstanding world super bantamweight star. That thriller with Kennedy McKinney. And remember when he came over to London and blew away Paul Lloyd in a round. Former world featherweight champion, schooled Nassim Hamad. And of course the fantastic wars with Eric Morales.
Well, Marquez has found a little rhythm in what he's doing now. Barrera was timing his punches better in the first round, certainly part of the second, but looking more comfortable now, Marquez.
With those black boots and black shorts, every time we've seen him this week, there's been a smile on his face. A confident, slightly arrogant, maybe attitude that he believed that he could take Barrera and show the world what a quality fighter he is.
Yeah, Barrera, he's been doing a little bit of spoiling in this round, just stopping Marquez from working. The referee has pulled him about it.
Backing up out of range.
Yep, good defensive boxing, but he's not really coming back with anything at the moment. Little switch in Barrera's tactics at the moment.
A tremendous opening round and a half from Barrera, but Marquez inching closer and getting through with combinations. Good body shot with the left hook from Marquez.
Is Barrera trying to draw him onto something, or what's going on here? But he's on the back foot, doesn't look as though he's been driven onto it. Much more positive when he was coming forward.
The vibes out of the Barrera camp felt he'd be too strong for Marquez, and he'll be able to go at him at times. Marquez is not phased and looks steady.
Yep, and still putting punches together, which is causing the problems, not allowing Barrera to come back with the counters.
They might have targeted that body of Barrera's after all the fights and all the years. Can they slow him down and take him out maybe late on? Drive from Barrera there. But Marquez finishes just as strong. Wonderful action. Both toe to toe. Brilliant. Rudy Perez there with Barrera. What should he be telling him at this stage?
Well, I would say initiate things the way he was doing earlier, because he's allowed Marquez to take the play a little bit away from him. For on my card, that was a good round for Marquez.
It's the 442nd of Barrera's fascinating career. 344th for Marquez. Underrated, unassuming. Not as many people know about him. He says this will be the stage. This is when people will start to talk.
Just thinking, Adam, it's a pity they're both 33, because this is the makings of another of boxing's wonderful trilogies. I think we could put up with this 3 times, couldn't we? But I think at 33 we're asking a bit much of them.
Don't count that out. Don't count anything out in boxing. But what we're watching is the very, very best.
So I just feel Marquez is that bit more prepared to commit himself than Barrera's looking for a cute way of doing it. Marquez is committing himself, taking chances, and it's paying off a bit for him. There he goes again.
Right hand from Marquez could be the fresher, the hungrier of the two in there. Yes, Barrera has pride, but he's been there and done it all. Marquez again goes downstairs to that body, which looks the way he wants to win this fight.
Barrera, reaction's just a little bit slow at the moment. Left his chin out to dry there. Lucky he got away with it. Yep, he's just a little bit slow in reacting to what Marquez is doing at the moment.
Just beckons Marquez in there, Barrera. That's what Rocky Juarez was doing to him in their rematch. Don't be worried, Barrera.
Well, I think we've got one fighter popping single punches, not a one prepared to put them together.
Jaime Quintana, Juan Manuel Marquez, his manager, very close, confident, shouting out advice.
The right hand of Marquez is working a treat, leading with it there, catching him.
Oh, uppercut as well, good shot. Back came Barrera with his own combination, but Marquez, he's not overawed. He believes he's good enough to take Barrera.
Well, my feeling about this fight was that there would be an awful lot of very close rounds, and it's possible that Barrera would get the benefit of the doubt, and enough of them to let him get a points victory here. But I think he's reacting slowly here. I think Marquez is just forcing things that little bit more, and I think at the moment he's the man in charge.
Could it be the speed coming up from featherweight as well?
It could be that, although it looks to me that the reactions are just a little bit slow. He's just that split second slow in reacting to what's happening. Therefore his counters are not accurate.
Again,
I don't think he's happy.
Again, they open up at the end. Marquez has got the foothold. They've got work to do in that red corner. They only ever lost 4 times. Knocked out by Junior Jones and beaten on points by Jones. Stopped by Pacquiao, and the one controversial defeat to Eric Morales. Marquez lost his debut on a disqualification, and after that only to Freddie Norwood in a close fight, and also Chris John out in Indonesia. Joe Barrestein, who has been quiet all week, the trainer of Marquez, feels he quite simply has the greater fighter. He's got to prove it all the way through here, Marquez. But after 5 rounds, he's winning it, isn't he?
Well, I think so. I mean, the opening round suggested to me that Barrera had turned the clock back, but he hasn't sustained that. He's reacting to what Marquez is doing as opposed to initiating things himself. Maybe he's looking for the second half of the fight to put the pedal down, but not what expected.
Marquez coming off a couple of stoppage wins in the 7th and 9th round, most recently against Jimret Xhaka. Barrera off the points decisions, a controversial one in their first match with Rocky Juarez, announced a draw, and it then became a win for him. Eyes swelling up of Marquez, maybe.
Barrera is looking a bit more purposeful in this round. That was a nice burst though from Marquez, but Barrera looks as though he needs to get things under control here.
Good right hand from Barrera. That's the key word, isn't it? Control, because Barrera's been so good at that for so much of his career, especially in the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, he's so good at not allowing the other guy to use what he's good at. A good body shot from Marquez. And I think these are the things that are more painful as you get older, because you don't spend quite as much time between fights in the gymnasium as you do when you're young. You're never out the gym, the stomach muscles are solid. In your 30s, you feel those shots. He's got his jab working now, Barrera.
He won't panic just yet, Barrera. He's the champion, he's got this title. And at last, Jay Nady has to have a word with him. He's usually good at finishing rounds, Barrera, too.
He's timing his punches again now, so they've got that little bit of snap in them. They lacked the snap for a couple of rounds there. Another close round, but Barrera certainly has improved in this one.
Yeah, good work from the baby-faced assassin, who owes us nothing, but is still giving us plenty.
Well, Marquez proving he's prepared to go through fire.
There's the machismo, the Mexican warriors we all love to see. And the crowd lap it up.
Yep, some excellent stuff in that round, but at the finish, I think Marquez proved he's prepared to take the pain, come through it, to get his own punches off. But I thought that was a good round for Barrera. I think he got himself back into the driving seat during that one.
Such a consummate professional, Marco Antonio Barrera, reads the game so very well. Las Vegas buzzing at the moment. They call it March Madness. The college basketball currently running, but at the moment all eyes fixed on this. And you have Marquez 1 point up at this stage, the halfway.
Yeah, but I've scored one round level. I think it was the second round I couldn't really decide. But all the rounds have been close. But the main thing is the fight is every bit as good as we hoped it would be.
Skills aplenty, defense tight, combinations going in, and the bravado, the blaze.
Barrera standing his ground again. This is really what he must do. He doesn't want Marquez backing him up.
I wonder if these rounds, they sense are close, the Marquez corner. Well, they feel they have to try and get to Barrera down the stretch, really unload, hurt him. Maybe even try and score the knockdown. The fans shouting out both Marquez and Barrera. Right hand from Juan Manuel Marquez. And that was the first dent in Barrera's armory.
Good uppercut.
Wonderful stuff from Juan Manuel Marquez in the 7th round. And Barrera needs his chin now.
Well, you really saw the effects of that shot. He recovered from it instantaneously, but that was a beauty.
Badly hurt. Barrera, a minute to go in the round.
His eyes look clear, so I think his head's cleared. But he must have felt that one. That was a beautiful punch. There's the uppercut again.
Oh, Marquez coming on strong. Barrera in desperate trouble here in the 7th round. Backed up on the ropes, and Marquez is proving the puncher.
And he is such a good finisher too. Barrera knows he's lost the round, so he just wants to go on the defensive and survive to the bell, get his head cleared. Doesn't want to be taking chances. Huge round for Marquez. Biggest round of the fight.
Dazed and confused, Barrera being outboxed, outpunched. It's all turned right around in a dramatic seventh.
At 33, Adam, can he come back from this? These are jolting punches, every one, he's feeling them down to his boots. Will 1 minute be long enough to get his head cleared and get the strength back in his legs?
Look at that! Back he comes, and Marquez goes down! What a great punch! Timeout from Jane 80. It's called as the bell goes. I think he's going to deduct a point, but wasn't that a legal punch? That's incredible from Jane 80.
It looked like a legal shot to me, and it doesn't look as though Marquez has recovered from that.
Was it the second shot when he was on the floor that he lost the point to?
Must have been, because there was nothing wrong with it. But he hasn't called the knockdown. It doesn't look, he's disregarded the knockdown, so that has cost Barrera. So that must be a 10-8 round against him. Marquez was winning the round, no question. We'll see what happens here. But good shot in the little clip right. That this is earlier in the round when he was really dominating. But we want to see. This is the punch here. Now that was a perfect legal punch, but he's touched down. And then this is when he's decided. But it looks to me as though he has disregarded the knockdown.
That was a right hand.
Nothing wrong with the punch, but this is where, I mean, that was blatant. That was blatant. He deserved to lose a point. That was completely blatant. But it means it's a 10-8 round for Marquez.
And yet it was Marquez that was knocked down in one of the most amazing rounds we've seen in recent years. That the seventh, quite phenomenal.
But Adam, the damage was done to Marquez in that round. Barrera, who was well losing the round, Marquez looked like he could have forced a stoppage. I wonder, can he recover from that? His eyes look glazed for the full minute in between rounds.
Did that round take more out of Barrera for the most of it, or Marquez right at the end? Left hook from Barrera, who might feel he could take him out because his corner would have said that was legitimate.
Well, that's exactly what Barrera needed, because we were asking, did he come back from that? But Marquez now was the one with the big problems. That was the kind of punch it's possible he will not recover from for the rest of the fight. His head will be scrambled there. That was a wonderful punch.
You are witnessing a Mexican sizzler, which is being cranked up another notch. Marquez tries to go to the body. Has his head cleared though, Jim?
If his head hasn't cleared, his balance won't be right, and he will not have the same snap when the punches, and his legs don't look right. He still looks badly hurt from that. I'm wondering, will he be able to recover from it? I have very, very strong doubts. His legs do not look strong, and that's where the power comes when you set yourself for the big shots.
And yet you were wondering whether Barrera could recover from what happened in the seventh at this stage of his career.
Well, that would certainly help you recover when you put the other fellow on the floor and have him on the verge of a knockout.
But he lost a point in all the melee. Oh, right hand from Marquez. This is turning into a classic. Absolutely incredible fight.
Adam, I'm asking, can Marquez recover from this? Remember the Pacquiao fight? You wouldn't have believed he would have come back from that, so he's done it in the past. Will he do it again?
World Championship boxing in the highest class. And everyone in the Mandalay Bay is glued to this. Right uppercut from Marquez. Peach of a shot.
He's definitely improving as this round goes on. I don't think he's winning the round, but he's looking that little bit stronger. His punches are looking of better quality. But you still have that feeling Barrera really looks strong at the moment, and he could turn it back round again with one hit.
Right hand from Barrera, and the left hook that's always so dangerous. Tries to take advantage. What a fight! What a fight! The crowd have been on their feet for the last couple of rounds.
This is phenomenal. Well, this is the incident again. He touched down, but because of the point, because of what happened here, the referee has disregarded the knockdown, which has cost Barrera, and also deducted the point, which gives a 10-8 round against him, which the least they would have done would have been an all-square round. So that's cost him 2 points on the scorecard. Beautiful shot. And I tell you, Marquez needed a round without incident, and he's got that, so maybe his head will be clear again. But that was blatant. You think a man of his experience would have had more sense than that.
Such a tight, tantalizing fight here in Las Vegas. Marco Antonio Barrera. Well, it's just astonishing, really, isn't it? How he keeps delivering fights like this. What happens next in this engrossing encounter?
I'm amazed the way Marquez blazes back when he catches punches spot on. There's nothing wrong with his heart.
You said they're too old for another trilogy. I say we have a rematch, whatever happens here now.
Yeah, well, it's a long time since we've seen one as good as this.
How ironic that Barrera Morales 1 was also at the Mandalay Bay, so too Jose Luis Castillo and Diego Corrales, their epic first encounter. This hotel's been lucky. Left hand from Marquez, but Barrera just comes back.
That may just be the difference between them, Adam, and maybe the chin. Yeah, you can see the effect when Marquez is caught cleanly. Barrera's walking through his now.
He told us he wanted to do it the macho way, Barrera. It must be because they're both Mexican, Jim.
Yeah, but it has changed his style 5 or 6 years ago. But this is the old stuff he's gone back to.
And Marquez still hanging in there, blood from the nose now. For the man in his 51st fight. Barrera in number 69, and still as good as ever.
There's a look of authority about his work now. Barrera, just as though he's going to work when he feels like it, just as though things are under control again. Marquez driving, trying to get himself back on top again. But Barrera, the comfortable looking one.
And Jim, the left eye of Marquez is swelling up fairly badly now. He has been marked up at times before. Barrera's face more unmarked.
Not the same snap in Marquez's punches at the moment. Maybe another couple of rounds behind him, the head will clear. I wonder if he's still feeling the effects of that punch, because it was a corker.
And not counted as a knockdown. Then the punch afterwards on the floor. You can't write these scripts, can you? They're working on that left eye. Nacho Beristain. They're probably also mentally just looking into him now to rejuvenate him if they can.
I think his problem, the punches are not having the same effect they had, and that the big round that he had. Barrera's taking them and coming back with better, and Barrera really looking strong again.
I've just seen some of the punch stats here at ringside. 204 landed from Barrera, 203 for Marquez, and they've both thrown 516 exactly.
It's amazing how closely matched do you want it. But phenomenal fight.
My word. 10th round here. This is when the Corrales-Castillo match came to an end. And probably the best round you'll ever see. We've had that superb 7th. And we've had an absolute corker. Marquez with the right hand. Barrera comes back, but he was hurt by that.
Well, I think that's exactly what Marquez needs. A confidence builder that he can shake him again. He's shown the power before, needs it again.
Notice some redness around Barrera's left eye. Yep, there's a cut, I think, yep. To add to what's gone on here, the drama. And Marquez will have that zip of confidence, goes to the body again. How much more can Barrera take and keep coming back with at this stage, at this age? Wonderful combination from Marquez, who's regained the center of the ring.
Yep, the spring's back, the strength is back, so the power in the shots again. These uppercuts are beautiful from Marquez.
Already an early contender, you feel, for Fight of the Year. Who's going to win, Jim?
Well, they've both hurt each other, so it's not even a set. This is going to go all the way.
A momentary respite before Barrera goes back in. Marquez keeps working and firing in the hooks, the right hands to the head. Trying to worsen the damage on Barrera's left eye.
Well, again, Marquez prepared to take the initiative as he was doing earlier. Looks as though his head's clear, the snap is back in the punches. Committing himself, taking some chances again.
Good 10th from Juan Manuel Marquez. Pushing Barrera back. Barrera was stopped late on by Manny Pacquiao, sucking it up on those ropes. A Marquez session, Jim. Unbelievable. Well, how on earth are the judges at ringside scoring this? Nip and tuck, back and forth. Utterly fabulous, Jim.
It's wonderful, but I'm thinking now, I wonder will that knockdown incident be what cost Barrera the fight? Because that, on my card, that had a 2-point swing. Because a round that could have been scored all level because of the knockdown. Going. There you see I have it 2 points up. So, will that be significant? That bad mistake this experienced man made. Because that was, without doubt, a cracking round from Marquez. He picked the shots, he took the chances, he forced the action.
6 minutes to go, unfortunately. We want more. The silver of Barrera, you don't need the identification surely anymore. Juan Manuel Marquez, could this be his moment, the night he's dreamt of? Or can Marco Antonio Barrera close the show, as he's done so many times before, and take a decision? Right up there, this fight, isn't it? Right up there.
This is fantastic. You know, I'm just wondering what interpretation the judges had of that mishap. Did they score the knockdown because it definitely was a knockdown? Are they instructed the referee to disregard it? I don't know what the judges would have done with that.
HBO at ringside have Barrera 1 point up. Interesting. Could come down to these last two. Will the judges be split? Who will they favour? Left hook from Marquez. Maybe it won't even go the distance. Ebbs and flows and constant entertainment for fight fans.
Well, I said earlier, I felt the fight might hinge on the close rounds, maybe Barrera just getting the benefit of the doubt from the judges. I wonder if that will help his case a little.
Yep. Partner of Golden Boy Promotions. We've seen some interesting and rather odd scoring tonight. It's got to be close though, Jim. It's got to be.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, Adam. The knockdown and the point deduction could have a big bearing on this. Good work again from Marquez.
Yeah, he's found those combinations. Not just counter-punching tonight, Marquez. He's gone forward with volleys. Not afraid of Barrera. Intense pride.
Not quite the quality in the work at the moment. They're both feeling the pace. The accuracy not there in this round. Good right hand from Marquez.
You can bet they will leave nothing in the tank in the 12th. These two will absolutely go for it. Back end of the 11th. Scintillating stuff. Barrera digging his feet in, trying to show he's the boss. There's a cut on the right eye of Marquez now as well. Marquez cut, Barrera cut. Marquez floored, wasn't counted as a knockdown. Barrera's been hurt. It's a bad cut, but they've only got 3 minutes. Jane 80 said it doesn't make any difference. Will that 7th round be pivotal on the judges' cards?
Well, that was another tough round to score, but I felt Marquez just pushed himself that little bit further. I have him in a handy lead now, so could be crucial. That 7th round.
Final round of a magical Mexican battle. I think this might be a special session. That eye really is bad of Marquez. Just got to grit it out. You've got Marquez in a 3-point lead.
Really quality from start to finish, hasn't it?
Barrera going back into the memory bank. What can he come up with for a final flurry?
See, I think at the moment Barrera's looking good, but Marquez is the one who's forcing the workout, forcing the punches. Barrera's looking casual, looking as though he's contented, but not pushing himself enough for my liking.
Marquez, the crowd around his chair. They open up again, battling away like only Mexicans can, ferocious and quality. It's been a pleasure and a privilege, hasn't it?
It's been a phenomenal fight. We knew they had the capabilities to produce this, but at 33, we didn't know if they would have the desire. Fantastic fight.
Marquez proved against Manny Pacquiao he belongs in the pound-for-pound list. Could he be getting this. What a night it would be for Juan Manuel Marquez. Remember, Barrera got the luck in LA last May in the first match with Rocky Juarez. "30 seconds to go of what's been a fight and a glittering night to remember in the Golden Tower of Mandalay Bay."
Barrera got the left hand working, just keeping Marquez at bay, but Marquez has put so much into this last round.
Marquez has put up the best performance of his boxing career. Barrera tries to stay with him right to the finish. Amazing, awesome, incredible. Marquez raises his arms aloft and he believes it is the new generation. But Marco Antonio Barrera is up as well. And Barrera is hugging Marquez's team. What a cracking night in the world of boxing, but for you, it's Juan Manuel Marquez's dream.
Yep, I just thought at the main times of the fight, they just produced that little bit more work. Keeping in mind, I scored the seventh round a 10-8 to Marquez. Even without that, I was still having 1 point up. But I'm worried, there's so many close rounds in this fight, and I thought before it started that maybe Barrera would get the benefit of the doubt in those rounds. And if that's the case, I mean, look at the action here. Phenomenal last round, you couldn't split them. Marquez a little bit ragged, Barrera coming back with clean counters.
They said they'd do it, and they did. Harold Lederman of HBO has Barrera a point up.
I tell you, it wouldn't surprise me, Adam, if the judges have the same. I lean towards Marquez for what he put into it, the quality of the punching, the accuracy. And at times, Barrera was looking the part for me, but not really producing the goods. But if the judges want to see it the other way, I will not complain, because look at this. So much of the action was like this, from one to the other, so many close rounds. And this could have robbed them. I wonder how the judges scored this particular round. We'll find out about that eventually. But was that a level round, which would have made a massive difference, or was it a 10-8 to Marquez? I mean, a man of his experience, I think he was angry at the punches he had taken, and I think he'd lost the plot a little bit. I think the red mist had come down. But I wonder, will it cost him the fight or not?
A sizzling spectacle. But who will win? Michael Buffer.
Here at the Mandalay Bay of Las Vegas. Before we go to the scorecards, a round of applause for these two warriors in the ring here tonight. The judges' scorecards are as follows. Doug Tucker, 118-109. Patricia Morris-Jarman, 116-111. Paul Smith, 116-111. To the winner, by unanimous decision, and new WBC Super Featherweight Champion of the world, Juan Manuel Dinamita Marquez.
Juan Manuel Marquez, the new Mexican star, the defining fight tonight, and he wins it big.
He wins it big, Adam. I liked what he was doing. I scored it towards him, but no way could I see it as big as that. So probably the seventh round has widened the scorecards on the judges. Now we know what they did with it. He's pleading with the crowd. On my card, as I've said, a worthy winner, a well-worthy winner. And the way he recovered as he did in the Pacquiao fight from that tremendous knockdown just showed the character.
Doug Tucker only gave 2 rounds to Barrera on his card. Can you believe that?
I mean, again, I'm not going to complain about the scoring as long as the right man wins. I felt the right man has got the verdict tonight, but the scoring, it can upset you. If you think about it, it'll get to you. This place is a piece of nonsense as far as scoring fights is concerned.
Only the 5th defeat in 17.5 professional careers. Will we see Marco Antonio Barrera again? Will we see a rematch? I wonder what will happen next for him.
Well, I joked about a trilogy, Adam. You corrected me. You might be right enough. Because I tell you what, everyone here and their friends would come back to see the next one.
Yep, let's do it again. If the fighters can muster up that courage, commitment, and high-class skills. It had absolutely everything.